Good evening, you're watching the news from the Sultanate of Oman television. First, the headlines. The tax authority signs an agreement to upgrade the government's services and enhance institutional performance. And Diyam and Shell Oman sign a memorandum of cooperation to operate 3 of its water assets with solar energy. Those are the headlines, and now for the news in detail. In an endeavour to establish the main foundation for the organisation and development of work environment of the tax authority, the authority signed an agreement with Oman Centre for Governance and Sustainability as the first initiative to upgrade the government services and enhance institutional performances. The move also came to enhance the authority's efficiency in its relations with other government bodies and other parties that it deals with and subject to tax. As per the agreement, Oman Centre for Governance and Sustainability will design governance code that suits the administrative organisational structure of tax authority and serves the objective and operations of the authority and achieves the purpose of its establishment. To upgrade services rendered to citizens and residents in various governorates, a ceremony was organised in the Wilaya of Nakal in the Governorate of South Batna for the opening of livestock slaughterhouse of Nakal municipality. The facility came to establish environmental hygiene for food and provide best municipality services. The slaughterhouse was designed as per the highest standards for food safety to keep pace with needs of upcoming period. The Public Authority for Water and Shell Oman Company signed a memorandum of cooperation to operate 3 of its water assets with solar energy. Based on the MOC, Shell Oman will install during the next year solar panel systems to operate water desalination plants in Karnal Alam in the Wilaya of Adam, with annual capacity of 50 megawatts hour annually. Shell Oman also will implement the other 2 projects during 2022 and 2023. Still to come on our news bulletin. Fiji scrambles to provide aid as cyclone toll rises. Welcome back to the news from the Sultanate of Oman television. A major U.S. air base north of Kabul was targeted in a dawn rocket attack today, but there were no casualties or damage to the airfield. 5 rockets were fired at Bagram airfield at 6 a.m. local time, and police had defused another 7 rockets mounted on a vehicle used in the attack. A NATO official also confirmed the assault. No group immediately claimed responsibility for the attack, and the Taliban denied any involvement. Today's attack came a day after 15 children were killed when an explosive-laden motorbike blew up near a religious gathering in eastern Ghazni province. Violence has surged in Afghanistan in recent months, despite the government and the Taliban launching peace talks to end the country's grinding war. The Taliban has carried out nearly daily attacks targeting Afghan forces that have left hundreds of security personnel killed or wounded. The United States yesterday authorized Moderna's COVID-19 vaccine for emergency use, paving the way for millions of doses of a second jab to be shipped across the hardest hit country in the world. With the United States now registering over 2,500 deaths a day from COVID-19, senior U.S. officials, including Vice President Mike Pence, stepped up to receive early vaccinations yesterday. Pence's public inoculation was the most high-profile attempt yet at persuading vaccine-skeptic Americans to join a national effort to halt a pandemic that has killed at least 1.66 million people and infected more than 74 million worldwide. President-elect Joe Biden, who will take office on January 20th, announced he would take the vaccine also in public on Monday. The United States is the first nation to authorize the two-dose regime from Moderna, now the second vaccine to be deployed in a Western country after the one developed by Pfizer and BioNTech. Millions of doses will start shipping out as early as this weekend from cold storage sites outside Memphis and Louisville. Prime Minister Giuseppe Conte said yesterday that Italy will be placed under a nationwide lockdown for much of the Christmas and New Year holidays, as the government looks to prevent a fresh surge in coronavirus cases. He told reporters that they have to intervene, and it is not an easy decision. It is a painful decision to strengthen the regime of measures necessary for the upcoming holidays and to better protect themselves. He said this nightmare is about to end despite the restrictions. We are approaching the vaccine day on December 27th. On Tuesday, Germany, France, Italy and 5 other European states announced they would coordinate the start of their COVID-19 vaccinations. Italy is set to receive an initial 1.83 million shots from Pfizer. Beijing today accused the United States of bullying after Washington announced export controls on dozens of Chinese firms over alleged ties to Chinese military. The announcement in the final week of President Donald Trump's term comes after relations between Washington and Beijing soured under his administration. It saw the U.S. start a trade war with China and expand its list of sanctioned entities to a few hundred Chinese companies and subsidiaries. Chinese Commerce Minister said it firmly opposes the move, which will affect the country's biggest chipmaker, and vowed to take necessary measures to safeguard Chinese companies' rights. U.S. Commerce Secretary Wilbur Ross yesterday said the designations, which restricted U.S. companies' ability to do business with the firms, are over an array of charges, including the activities of the Chinese military, particularly in the South Chinese Sea, as well as theft of U.S. technology. The devastation in Fiji following Cyclone Yasar was compared to a war zone today, as reconnaissance flights showed entire villages wiped out, and authorities put the cost at hundreds of millions of dollars. The death toll rose to 4, with aid workers fearing it will increase when contact is re-established with outlying areas. A state of natural disaster was declared for 30 days as emergency services scrambled to provide food and clothing to the worst affected areas. The superstorm slammed into Fiji's second largest island, Vunulivu, late on Thursday, leaving a trail of destruction and affecting 93,000 people. Of the 24,000 people who evacuated their homes at the height of the storm, 16,113 are still unable to return. This is the Sultan of Oman television. Before we end tonight's bulletin, here are the main points once again. The tax authority signs an agreement to upgrade the government services and enhance institutional performance. And Diem and Shell Oman sign a memorandum of cooperation to operate 3 of its water assets with solar energy. With that, we come to the end of tonight's news bulletin. From all of us here at the newsroom and the studio, it's good night.